The 33 Strategies of War by Robert Greene. This is a book summary. History is written by the victors, but what if I told you that their secrets, their battle-tested strategies, are not locked away in dusty war journals, but right here, waiting for you to wield them? What if the same principles that shaped emperors, warlords, and master tacticians could be applied to your life? Whether you're fighting in the corporate arena, navigating the chessboard of social dynamics, or overcoming your personal struggles. Enter Robert Greene's The 33 Strategies of War, a brutally effective guide that distills the wisdom of history's greatest military minds into strategies you can use today. From Sun Tzu's cunning deception tactics to Napoleon's relentless offensive maneuvers, these strategies will help you think, act, and win like a general on the battlefield of life. And today we're not just summarizing the book, we're bringing it to life. Each of the 33 strategies is a weapon, and by the end of this video, you'll have an arsenal at your disposal. So sharpen your mind, grab your metaphorical sword, and let's march into battle. Section 1. The War Within. Self-directed warfare. Before you conquer the world, you must first conquer yourself. Victory, whether in war, business, or life, does not start on the battlefield. It begins in the mind. Every great general, from Julius Caesar to Genghis Khan, knew this. Their most dangerous enemy was never just the opposing army. It was the weakness, fear, and hesitation within themselves. You see, warfare is not just about weapons and armies. It's about strategy. And the most important battlefield, your own mind. Strategy 1. Declare war on your enemies. Napoleon standing over a war table, pointing at a map. An entrepreneur closing his laptop, eyes filled with determination. Your biggest enemy? Complacency. The comfortable routine that lulls you into stagnation. The self-doubt that whispers, maybe tomorrow. The bad habits that slowly sabotage you from within. But what do great warriors do when they spot an enemy? They don't hesitate, they attack. Look at history's greatest conquerors. Napoleon didn't sit back and wait for Europe to crush him. He declared war first. Alexander the Great didn't cautiously test the waters. He burned his ships, ensuring victory or death. Even in modern times, think of Steve Jobs. He didn't just build Apple. He declared war on mediocrity, on outdated technology, on the idea that computers were just for businesses. He fought until he won. And you must do the same. Look around. Who or what is standing in your way? Is it procrastination? Toxic relationships? Fear of failure? Spot the enemy, lock onto your target, and eliminate it with ruthless precision. No more half measures. No more excuses. You're either fighting or you're losing. This is the essence of Greene's first strategy. Declare war. Not with hesitation, but with full commitment. Because when you have no escape plan, you have no choice but to win. Strategy 2. Do not fight the last war. There's a reason generals study past wars, but never fight them the same way. What worked yesterday won't work today. The world moves too fast. Those who stay rigid get crushed. One of the greatest military disasters in history, the Maginot Line, France's massive defense wall built after World War I. The French generals assumed that if Germany attacked again, they would do it the same way. But Hitler, he didn't play by their rules. He went around the wall, using fast-moving tanks and blitzkrieg warfare, and France fell in weeks. And yet, how often do we fall into the same trap, using old solutions for new problems? Sticking to what's comfortable instead of adapting, relying on outdated strategies in business, relationships, even personal growth. The world is evolving every day, and if you're not adapting, you're already losing. So ask yourself, are you still fighting the last war? Still using tactics from 5 years ago to tackle today's problems? Still relying on an old skill set, an outdated mindset, an obsolete plan? If so, drop them immediately. In the 33 Strategies of War, Robert Greene warns that nothing is more dangerous than believing the past will repeat itself exactly. It won't. The winners? They stay ahead of the curve. They evolve faster than the battlefield. So right now, stop clinging to what used to work. Instead, start innovating, adapting, moving faster than your enemies. Because in war, business, and life, speed wins. Section 2, Team Warfare, Leading and Organizing. A general stands before his troops, the sun rising behind him. His men are weary, but determined. The drums of war beat in the distance. An executive giving a rallying speech before a major business decision. Then a football coach motivating his team before the championship game. Whether you're leading a company, a sports team, or even a group of friends, the power of leadership determines the outcome. The difference between a scattered army and a legendary force is not just strength, it's direction, unity, and purpose. And history has shown us time and time again, leaders don't just lead, they inspire. Julius Caesar, Alexander the Great, Genghis Khan, these men didn't just command soldiers, they turned them into believers. They didn't just give orders, they instilled a cause that made men willing to fight to the death. Leadership isn't about power, it's about influence. If your team believes in your vision, they will march into battle without hesitation. But if you fail to inspire them, they will hesitate at the first sign of resistance. Strategy 5. Avoid the snares of groupthink. People in meetings nodding mindlessly, a herd of sheep moving in the same direction. Most people follow the crowd because it feels safe. It's human nature. But history's greatest leaders, they don't blend in, they stand apart, and they certainly don't let the emotions of the masses dictate their moves. Robert Greene warns us in the 33 Strategies of War that groupthink is a silent killer. It makes people blind to danger, deaf to innovation, and slow to react. Entire armies have been led to disaster because their commanders refused to question bad decisions. Businesses have collapsed because executives feared speaking out against a failing strategy, and social movements have crumbled under the weight of conformity. Take Napoleon. His men revered him, but he never let their admiration cloud his judgment. He stayed ruthlessly objective, making decisions based on strategy, not emotion. The moment you start making choices just to fit in, you forfeit control of your own war. So, ask yourself, are you leading or are you just following the herd? Strategy 7. Transform your war into a crusade. The best leaders don't just give orders. They create movements. They ignite something bigger than themselves. Why? Because people don't just fight for a paycheck or a title. They fight for a cause, a purpose, a mission. Think of Elon Musk. He's not just selling electric cars. He's selling a revolution. His vision isn't about profit margins. It's about saving the planet. That's why his team works like warriors, pushing boundaries, breaking rules, redefining industries. In war, morale is everything. Robert Greene highlights how leaders like Joan of Arc turned a scattered army into a righteous force by giving them something to believe in. The difference between an army that fights and an army that wins. Passion, purpose, a cause greater than themselves. So whatever battle you're leading, ask yourself, is this just a job or is it a mission? Give your team something worth fighting for, and they'll follow you to the ends of the earth. Section 3. Defensive warfare. When to fight and when to wait. A lone samurai stands still, sword sheathed as the wind rustles through the trees. Then an MMA fighter circling their opponent, studying their movements. Not every battle needs to be fought. Sometimes, the best move is to wait. The art of war isn't about constant fighting. It's about choosing your battles wisely. Because the moment you engage in the wrong fight, at the wrong time, against the wrong enemy, you are already losing. Strategy 8. Pick your battles carefully. A general looking over a map, placing pieces strategically. Then a boxer dodging punches instead of throwing them. Sun Tzu said it best. He will win who knows when to fight and when not to fight. Too many people rush into conflict, driven by ego, emotion, or pride. But great warriors, they wait, they calculate, they strike only when the moment is right. History is littered with cautionary tales. Leaders who fought every battle and exhausted their armies. Look at Hitler. He stretched his forces too thin, opening too many fronts, and ultimately doomed himself. Meanwhile, guerrilla warriors like the Vietnamese, who knew when to engage and when to disappear into the jungle, outlasted even the most powerful empires. Victory is not about winning every fight, it's about winning the right fight. The next time you're tempted to argue, retaliate, or prove a point, ask yourself, is this a battle that needs to be fought, or is my energy better spent waiting for the right war? Strategy 10. Create a threatening presence, a lion staring down its prey, then a lone warrior standing firm as enemies hesitate to attack. The strongest warriors don't always fight. Sometimes, their mere presence is enough to deter conflict altogether, because people don't attack the strong, they attack the weak. Robert Greene explains how leaders throughout history built reputations so fearsome that battles ended before they even began. Think of Vlad the Impaler. He didn't just fight his enemies, he terrified them with brutal psychological warfare. Think of Muhammad Ali. He didn't just win in the ring. He won before the fight even started, by getting inside his opponent's heads. The greatest war strategy? Make yourself so formidable, so unpredictable, so dangerous that no one dares challenge you. This isn't about arrogance, it's about protection. The best war is the one you never have to fight. So, how do you apply this in your own life? Confidence, skill, and unpredictability. If you carry yourself like someone who cannot be easily messed with, people will think twice before crossing you. In the game of power, a threatening presence is often more powerful than actual war. Section 4. Offensive warfare. The art of attack. Defense keeps you alive, but offense wins wars. The greatest victories in history were not achieved by waiting. They came from bold, decisive, and unexpected strikes. If you want to win big, in business, in competition, in life, you need to learn the art of attack. Robert Greene tells us in the 33 Strategies of War that the most dangerous mistake is hesitation. The battlefield, whether in war or in everyday life, doesn't reward the cautious. It rewards those who strike first, strike fast, and strike hard. Look at history. The generals and rulers who hesitated, they were crushed. The ones who seized the moment, they became legends. Strategy 14. Overwhelm resistance with speed and suddenness. There's a reason the Blitzkrieg was so effective in World War II. There's a reason why Genghis Khan's warriors conquered more land than any other empire in history. And there's a reason why Mike Tyson won 44 of his 50 fights by knockout, many within the first round. Because speed kills. Greene highlights the power of sudden and overwhelming force. The faster you move, the less time your enemy has to react. When an opportunity presents itself, don't hesitate, don't overthink, attack. When Alexander the Great crossed into Persia, he didn't give King Darius time to prepare, he struck first. When Steve Jobs returned to Apple, he fired half the company overnight and launched a new era. When Muhammad Ali fought Sonny Liston, he didn't play defense. He danced around him at lightning speed, exhausting his enemy before delivering the final blow. The greatest winners, they don't wait for permission, they don't telegraph their moves, they hit first and dominate. So the next time you see an opening, don't wait. Take it. Because by the time your enemies realize what's happening, it'll already be too late. Strategy 16. Hit them where it hurts. Every empire, every army, every business, and every person has a weak spot. And in war, you don't attack the walls. They're too strong. You find the crack, the weakness, and you exploit it mercilessly. Robert Greene reminds us that power isn't about brute force. It's about precision. You don't need to fight an entire army if you can take out its general. You don't need to crush a whole business if you can expose a single scandal. You don't need to beat an opponent in every way, just in the one way that matters most. The Mongols knew this. They didn't just storm cities, they cut off supply lines, starving their enemies into surrender. Modern political campaigns do this, exposing an opponent's single greatest flaw instead of attacking everything. Underdogs win by finding the one thing that will collapse the entire system. So, in your battles, whether in business, negotiations, or personal conflicts, don't waste energy fighting the whole war. Find their weak spot, attack it, win. Section 5. Unconventional warfare, playing dirty when necessary. A spy sneaking into an enemy camp. Corporate executives smiling in a negotiation, while secretly securing a better deal behind closed doors. Then, a chess grandmaster making an unpredictable move. Not all battles are fought on an open battlefield. Sometimes, the real war happens behind the scenes. History isn't just shaped by those who fought with swords. but by those who fought with secrets, deception, and strategy. Robert Greene teaches us that the dirtiest player often wins, not by cheating but by controlling the game in ways others don't see. Power isn't just about brute force. It's about manipulating perception, controlling narratives, and staying 3 steps ahead. Strategy 23. Weave a seamless blend of fact and fiction. Perception is reality, and those who control perception control power. Greene shows us that history's most powerful figures, politicians, CEOs, even military leaders, have all mastered illusion. They shape narratives to control how others react. They manipulate reality to get what they want. Take Winston Churchill. He made Britain look stronger than it was during World War II, boosting morale and making enemies hesitate. Take Steve Jobs. He presented Apple's products as revolutionary long before they were truly complete. Take modern-day politicians. They control their own public image, making it nearly impossible to pin them down. The lesson? If you don't control your story, someone else will. If people believe a certain version of reality, it becomes reality. Use this to your advantage. Strategy 27. Seem to work for the interests of others while furthering your own. The best way to gain power, make others think you're helping them, while secretly advancing your own goals. It's chess, not checkers. Move smart. So, tell me, which strategy resonated with you the most? Drop it in the comments. And if you want more power, strategy, and success, hit that like and subscribe button. Until next time, go out there and conquer.